Hi, Charlie. My name's Nate. I have a question about the Trump administration. Why are they refusing to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia?
Okay, so, well, a couple things. I don't want to put you on the spot, but like how much research have you done into this topic? A fair amount?
A fair amount, yeah.
Okay, so is he a U.S. citizen?
No, but he had a judge-imposed order specifically preventing him from being deported that the Trump administration bypassed.
You are half right. Deported to just El Salvador.
Correct, which is where he was deported to.
Right, but the judge says he could be scooped up to any place at any time. Now it gets a little bit more complicated because they invoked the Alien Enemies Act. And so will you acknowledge that he was part of MS-13?
No. The only source that was saying he was a part of MS-13 was a cop in 2019.
Right. So what are the tattoos on his knuckles? It literally was like people that are in that world that know gang iconography, so that is MS-13 tattoos. Also,
okay,
is
so
it
because he has that, why should he be denied due process?
Okay, you're right, but he had due process for about 5 years, right? So the judge says you could be scooped up at any time, at any place. Alien Enemies Act actually says you do not get due process when you're an invader on enemy land. MS-13 was called an invading force. Also, isn't he from El Salvador?
Yes.
So he's back in his home country.
Which is where he was specifically legally protected from being deported to.
What was the excuse he gave not to go back to El Salvador?
Gang violence.
No, he said another gang was going to come after him.
Yeah.
So he was part of a gang.
He didn't use the words another gang.
No, he did.
Nope. He didn't. That's just a lie.
Again, he said another gang. Did he or did he not wear Chicago Bulls paraphernalia?
He did, and I don't think we can say that wearing Chicago Bulls paraphernalia
in Maryland
is enough to say that you have a gang affiliation.
Okay, again, so just so you guys know.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of Michael Jordan
well, actually, I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, but just so you know, I'm a massive Michael Jordan fan, but just so you know, and I hope you understand this, that the Chicago Bulls were the assigned team of MS-13 in the Baltimore metro area, and so we have witnesses saying that he was part of MS-13. We have the tattoos,
a police
right?
officer.
We have the fact that he's from El Salvador, another gang was going to come after him. And I just want to make sure I understand, why do you care so much about trying to return a non-American who is obviously a wife beater and a bad guy back to a country which was not his own?
Because I care that everyone under the United States is afforded the rights under the Constitution. And if we bypass that for him, what's stopping us from bypassing that for literally anybody else and just accusing them of being in a gang?
He's not an American, right?
He was in America. He was in America and was specifically protected from being deported.
Think you're getting enough nutrition from your food? Think again. Right now, it takes 3 carrots to get the same nutrition as 1 carrot from 100 years ago. Our food supply has been hijacked by big agencies, stripped of the minerals your body needs to function at its best. Dr. Linus Pauling, a 2-time Nobel laureate, saw this coming. He warned, quote, "The world is sick due to a lack of minerals in our foods. Most supplements today give you 12 essential minerals, but your body needs at least 60 to thrive. That's why Immuno 150, Immuno 150 is a game changer, delivering 13 essential vitamins, 70 plant-based minerals, and 68 additional nutrients. This administration is going to make America healthy again, but it's our job to be informed and make good choices. Immuno 150 gets you on track for better health. Visit Immuno150.com. That's Immuno150.com. Or call 855-593-5500 to get yours. It's time to take back control of our nutrition.
If it wasn't a gang tattoo, why did his girlfriend edit it out of all the photos that she was posting on social media? If there was nothing to hide, why did his girlfriend not want the world to see it?
My point is it's irrelevant whether or not it's a gang tattoo.
Oh, it's actually incredibly
relevant. We shouldn't
relevant.
be deporting people just randomly without providing them a trial or any kind of due process.
No,
if it wasn't bad that we did
he had a trial, though. That's the thing.
If it wasn't bad that we did that, why did the Supreme Court rule 9-0 that we ought to return him, facilitate his return to the U.S., and make sure that we give him a trial before trying to deport him again?
No one is debating the fact that he should not have been sent back to that specific country. But once he's in El Salvador, that's out of our hand. But what we are debating is whether or not this guy had a right to stay in America. He's an illegal alien, and every illegal alien here in America should be returned back to their country of origin. Period. Hard stop. And so
my question then is, without due process,
so according to the
determine
Supreme
someone's an
Court,
illegal
there are
alien?
3 ways to return somebody in America. Do you know the 3 ways?
No.
Okay, so the Alien Enemies Act, which requires no due process. That's what they used. There's also called expedited release, which means you've been here within 14 days or 100 miles of the southern border. Did not apply to him. And then anybody else that's here, due process. So under Biden, he had multiple court dates, due process, where he was able to make his case. A judge looked at him and he said, Mr. Garcia, I have to warn you, you might be scooped up at any time. We are not protecting you. There's an active deportation notice on your head, Mr. Garcia. Do you understand? And he said, I understand, I'm going to stay. Therefore, Garcia stayed. The only part of your argument is correct. What the judge did say is, we can't send you back to El Salvador. Hilariously, if we would have sent him to the Congo, which actually wasn't his own home country, or sent him to Canada, we would have been perfectly fine. So now he's in the hands of an El Salvadorian government. We admit that it was an administrative error, but what we will not admit is that it was not a moral error. There's nothing morally wrong with scooping up someone that's been warned for deportation, that broke into our country, that already had due process, and we did it so legally. There's nothing at all wrong with doing that. In fact, we should do that with millions of other people that are in this country right now currently. And final point.
So, if there's nothing at all wrong with that, then again, you didn't answer this question. Why did the Supreme Court rule 9-0 to facilitate his return?
Again, so they can't facilitate it because he's in a foreign country. You want us to invade El Salvador? And then secondly, I will get to the next question. They ruled that he shouldn't have been sent to that specific country, of which I have granted that to you. Final point. If somebody is here not from America, send them back to their home country. Period. End of story. Not difficult. Thank you very much.